What's up, guys? It's September 25th. Next week's actually opening day, so I've been around here kind of doing a few, odds and ends things just before season, and I figured I'd show you guys what I've been working on. We got this muddy bull blind, and typically they come with a you can pay extra and get like a metal tripod to build that they go on top of. But my dad was like, "Why not just build it out of wood?" So I was like, "Okay." I was just gonna kind of show you how I built this thing. And if anybody was interested in building one of these, or if they just wanted to build their own custom blind in general, I'll just kind of show you what I did. I was at Walmart a couple years ago, and they had these metal platforms for blinds for sale. And they're 5 foot by 5 foot, and they have these 4 foot metal channels that come out that you can put 4x4 legs into. But we had some 12 foot 6x6s laying around, so I ended up using that. And what I did was I notched the 6x6s at the top, and then that made it where it actually fit into the 4x4 metal channels. After that, I come through and I added 2x6 X braces on each side, and that made it pretty sturdy. So we was actually able to move it, and we moved it with the skid steer my dad's got over here to this location where we actually ended up where it's sitting now. So the next thing that I did after I X braced it is I was thinking about building the ladder, but I ended up building these steps that go up to it, because I got a little boy he's probably gonna end up going with me hunting pretty soon, and then my wife. So I ended up building steps to it where it's a lot easier to get up and down, and I put handrails on it. And I also built this deck that goes up right before the door. So I talked to one of my dad's friends, and he kind of helped me figure out how to build the deck. And I also used Adobe Illustrator to kind of get all the measurements down and everything. The steps is made up of the sides are 2x6s, which I'd really prefer using 2x8s, just because it would be a lot more sturdy. I think it has a little bit of a bow in it, so I actually had to end up adding braces to it. The 2x4 handrail actually ended up being pretty sturdy, but I really think 2x8s would have been better for the sides and for the actual steps themselves. The deck is made of 2x6s. I just made a 2x6 frame, and I put deck boards on top of that. And there's 2x6s that run across, kind of like floor joists, that run across the whole underneath of the metal frame that give it support. The last thing that I did after we set the blind up, we got it where we wanted it, I actually got a mobile home anchor and put that in the ground. And then I added eye bolts on each corner of every 6x6. And then you could use cables. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could use, but I ended up using ratchet straps to hold it down. And this thing is like super sturdy. Like, it would probably take a real heavy wind to knock this thing down without the ratchet straps, but I put them on there just in case. And the blind itself, I actually use carriage bolts. I think there's like 6 carriage bolts altogether, and I use some screws here and there just to kind of secure the floor down. But I'll go inside and I'll let you see what this inside looks like and kind of the view around. This blind is the metal platform is a 5x5, and this muddy bull blind is actually a 6x6 octagon shaped blind, but it has vertical windows in the corner and then horizontal windows on the sides, and the door has a vertical window too. So I'll go up there and I'll show you that, and I'll also show you what it looks like around where I located this. Because one thing with these, like certain properties, you want to find a really good spot to put these blinds, just so you can see a lot of area. Because I mean, as high as you are and as much as you can see out of these things, like if you can find a spot that's just you got a lot of areas to look at, you can see a lot more deer. So me and my uncle actually come out here during the summer and kind of found a spot, and I've actually got a tree stand about 60 yards from here, and I already knew this was a good spot because I hunted there and there was always deer coming through here. So if you find a good spot, that's one of the main things for these blinds like this, is just finding a good spot to put it. And once you find that good spot, these things are awesome because it helps keep your scent down, and it's quieter, and it's nice for hunting. If you just want to be kind of relaxed, and they're just really nice blinds. So I'm going to show you the inside and let you check it out. Alright, so I'm inside the blind, and one of the real cool things about this blind is I'm actually 6'1", and you can just stand up in this thing. So that's one of the really cool features about this, is that you can actually stand up in it like a ground blind or something. Normally you can't even stand up in the thing. You got to be hunched over or sitting down. But with this here, you can actually stand up. There's a wasp. He's gone. Anyways, you can stand up in this thing and shoot out the windows, and these corners are actually vertical windows, and I'll show you how they work. You know, a lot of times these blinds are made with like plexiglass as the windows, but these are actually real glass. So they got these little plastic clips that hold the windows together, and they open to the inside. And they also have these pieces right here that actually hold the window up. So I'll show you how they work and give you an idea kind of how it looks as you like pan around this thing. So here's how the vertical windows work. They got these metal clips that you go around and you undo. Then once they're all undone, the window just opens up. And then when you go back to shut them, it's basically the same thing. You push the window in and just turn these clips. And there you go. Now on these horizontal windows on the sides, they're a little bit different. They open up the same way. So you take these little plastic clips and turn them. But then as you lift your window up, it goes up and it actually holds into place with that little lever there. So that's how that works. And then when you bring it down, just close it. Use the plastic clips to shut it, to keep it closed, and there you go. One other pretty cool feature about this that I've noticed, I watched a video online about how these are manufactured, and in between the inside wall and the outside wall, I believe it's actually made of like styrofoam. So this is somewhat like soundproof as far as like you talking or something inside here, and someone or a deer or anything outside. It actually kind of helps, you know, muffle the sound a little bit. So that's a pretty cool feature. The one downfall about these things that I just don't really like, that I've noticed, I don't know if it's from like transporting it or what, but like the plastic skin on the outside is like adhesive. It's got adhesive, however you say that. It's got adhesive that actually keeps the plastic like pressed down. But I've noticed it kind of buckling around certain spots of the blind. I don't know if it's from like lifting it up or the corner kind of getting crinkled or what, but that's really one of the only downfalls I've noticed of this blind. But everything else is pretty cool. I mean, it's got a cup holder for when you come in here and sit down. It doesn't really have a bowl holder or nothing, but I guess you could just set your bow against the corner or your gun. It actually does have a little gun rest on the little shelf here, but it's all carpeted except for the roof, and I'm pretty impressed with it. I mean, I really like how it's built, and I think it weighs about 500 pounds, so if you want to keep that in mind. But I'm gonna do kind of like a panoramic view out these windows and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like where I'm sitting at, and I'll go back down. Well, there it is, guys. If you're looking to build a blind, I mean, you can do it yourself. I mean, I probably did 95% of this by myself. So as long as you got like a skid steer or a tractor, some way to like get that blind on top of it. It just depends on how you build it. If you want to build the platform first, then set the blind on it, or if you want to set the blind on it, build the platform and everything, and then tip it over and tip it up, you could do that way too. I've seen people do that, but we basically just set this platform down, brought this blind in, and set it right on top. So if you're interested in building one of these and you need some help or you got some questions about it, just feel free to leave a comment and I'll try to help answer any questions you might have. So on the next video, I'm going to actually show you how to build a smaller version of this, and I built one that's about 7 foot tall for to put a ground blind on top of. So if you want to see that, check out the next video and I'll show you how that was made. Hope you liked the video, and hope to see you on the next one. See ya.